Hello everybody in Williams Lake in the Caribou, BC, Canada. I'm filming this video now because I have this deep feeling that we all have, and we have to do something to make change. And over the last year and a half, almost 2 years, I have done a lot of work on myself, and I've created a deep relationship with my intuition, and it can speak to me and I can listen to it now. And every morning I wake up and I'm always, you gotta do something, you have to do something. But, part of me just feels frightened still to put myself out there, and what will people think of me? But the more I just keep working on myself, the more that doesn't matter. And I realize that we're all connected. Because all is one, right? And when you hurt, I hurt. So I constantly think about our municipalities, all the troubles in our community, and how that can be fixed under one platform, and that is the contributionism model with the Ubuntu liberation movement. And I'm tired of telling people that they're being lied to. People don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. I sure as hell didn't. So, like Mark Twain says, it's easier to fool people than to convince them they've been fooled. And I'm done convincing people that they're being lied to. Some of you know, some of you don't. And that's fine. But I refuse to watch my town just go down in the dirt over and over again, and nothing seems to be changing. And it's always this, we don't have enough money to do that. We don't have enough money to do this. Money doesn't really do anything. If you think about it, people do everything. You can't eat money. You can't drive it to work. You can't shelter yourself with it. And that's pretty much the essential things that we need to survive. But, Ubuntu means I am who I am because of who we all are. So if I keep seeing my fellow brothers and sisters just suffering and I do nothing to lift them up, what does that say about me? What does that say about us as a society? We are so deeply divided, and it seems like it's just getting worse and worse. But I feel like people are waking up, and I am so in tune with myself now. Not because I just quit all the drugs and alcohol that I've been doing for the last 10 years of my life, in my 20s, because I was raised to work hard so we can party even harder. And I've done that life, and I can tell you, it is an endless, bottomless pit of despair and depression. And that goes with sugar too. I quit eating sugar, and that changed my entire perception of reality. I started to get a very deep connection with myself and love myself more and more every day. And you can inspire people just by being your greatest self. You don't have to do anything specific. That will come to you intuitively. But as I begin to keep working on myself every day and become my greatest self, just become healthier, you will just naturally tune into that kind of frequency, and you will inspire everyone in your wake. So I have been doing the contributionism presentations for about 6 months now, maybe a little more. But I've been doing the Ubuntu thing since 2011, when I first seen Michael Tellinger on a video. And it was a 4-hour-long seminar of the ancient origins and ancient technology and stuff like that. And it was really interesting. But what kind of resonated with me was, there's like an hour left in the seminar, and all of a sudden he talked about, all you have to do is contribute 3 hours a week, and we can all have a massive abundance. We can all be rich. We can all have everything we ever wanted for 3 hours a week. of working. That gives you 165 hours a week of free time to discover your true self, to find out who you really are, and to live your purpose on this life. You know, and that's where the healing begins. You have the power, we all have the power within us to choose our emotions. We can choose to be scared, we can choose to be happy, you know. And I had to learn that you can change the meaning behind your past traumas and the things that just can't seem to get out of your head, that just keep weighing you down. I had to change the meanings to all that stuff to something way more empowering, to the point where my ego could no longer hold on to it. It had nothing left to grasp onto to make me angry. And yeah, new stuff pops up all the time, but all those old traumas that I always identified with, all that humility, embarrassment that I suffered when I was a kid and a young adult, I changed the meaning behind that, you know? And if I couldn't be really specific about the story or thing, you know, this happened because of this, then I would just say that brought me to where I am today. And that makes me feel really good. Because, you know, I claim to be the healthiest guy in this town now. And I know that might be a long shot, but I think that's very healthy competition to strive for. I have never felt this awake. I've never felt this alive, this good, this healthy in my life. And it's all because I got clean and sober, and mainly I stopped eating crappy food. I stopped eating sugar. Sugar is a nasty, nasty drug, worse than anything out there. And as soon as I quit doing that, it was one of the hardest things I ever did. But I am so thankful I did, and I would never, ever go back to that life. So every morning I wake up and I think about this one small town plan of action that I've been presenting to Williams Lake and 100 Mile for the last 6 or 7 months. And there's lots of ways to go about this. And we're doing it. We have a ranch already that's ready to go and willing to start growing food, but it's going to take a lot more than that. And anybody else, any other farmers out there, you are going to be the first heroes of this whole community, because everybody needs to be fed, and the prices of food are just skyrocketing now, and they're just going to keep going up. So we need to learn how to become self-sustainable. And that's exactly what we're doing in the Ubuntu model. It also doesn't conflict or oppose the current system we have now. So if people don't want to participate, they're 3 hours a week to get all the stuff that we produce for free, then they don't have to. They can just keep going to work and paying for stuff. That's totally fine. But when they do change their minds, once they see all their friends getting everything for free, then they are not going to sit on the fence for very long. It doesn't make sense to. Why would they? And eventually, after a year or two, maybe 3, they'll start to make more money from contributing 3 hours a week than they will for working at their jobs for 8, 10, 12-hour shifts, 5 days a week, 7 days a week, whatever it is, right? So I always wake up and I think about the easiest way to do this is with the help of the mayor and the city council. When you get that approved and they sign on to this, then Michael Tellinger comes here with his group of people, and they provide us with a free source of electricity that nobody's ever seen before. And we will pay that off in installments over a contracted thing. And if at any point the municipality decides to take profits and corrupt this beautiful system of abundance and prosperity that we're going to create, they will take it out of our hands immediately, because that's not what it's used for. It's for the people. The land I'm on right now, this is the people's land. It's not a corporation's land. It's not the city's land. It's not any government's land that's claimed unlawful rights over it. So yeah, with the help of the city council and the mayor signing on to this, that's when the bigwigs come in here and they get rid of all the red tape for us. And we all work together, because this is a majority rule that we live in right now, not a minority rule, right? So democracy, therefore, is just nothing more than a bullying tactic that's been disguised as freedom. Because, you know, if it's 70 against 30%, then that 30% still loses, and they're not happy. So if it's not good for all, it's not good at all. And we always work within the system to make it good for everybody. And that's not that hard. It just seems hard because it's actually so far from the paradigm that we currently exist in right now. But we are moving up in frequency. I can easily say that when I got totally clean and healthy, I started to rise up in consciousness. Things were flowing into me. Answers were just coming to me, and I could listen way more to the answers that were more harmonious, and these fears started to go away. And I don't really see any kind of change in the municipality. I have presented this stuff to one person in the city council, and they haven't got back to me at all, even though I've sent them a few messages. If they have any questions, what do they think about it? And I've been ignored. So I think it's quite clear that they don't want to uplift the town. They don't want to enrich the town. They don't want to bring themselves down to our level, you know, because they've been sitting in their ivory towers this whole time, collecting everybody's rent money and just doing what they do. And that's fine too, but I feel that we need new, fresh blood in our municipality. And if I have to run for mayor or city council, then so be it. That's what I wake up every morning thinking. Do I have to run for mayor? Are you kidding me? Fine. I am healthy. I am driven. I am smart now. Which, by the way, nobody is stupid. Nobody. Okay? That's just all concepts that we get taught in school, in our education system, you know, because we all get put in a room and say, oh, you need to regurgitate all this stuff. You know, if you're not a good regurgitator, then you're going to fail. Have fun pumping gas or flipping burgers. That's what my mom always said, right? And that shit sticks with you bad when you're a kid. And you don't want to be a failure. Nobody does, but we change the meaning of failure. You have the choice. You can choose to change the meaning of that. Fail means first attempt is learning. How about that one? So, nobody is stupid. You can't just cram people in a room with all these different talents and skills and different purposes in life and tell them to learn this one narrative. And if they don't, then they're stupid. That is awful. And a lot of us have had to live with that our whole lives. But no more. Everything's changing. We are moving up in consciousness. We're going from 3-dimensional to 4th-dimensional thinking. And the difference between that is really 4th-dimensional thinking. Whenever a problem faces us, we immediately become together as a mastermind, because we realize all is one. When you hurt, I hurt. When I hurt, you hurt. So, right? We don't have the separation issue anymore. We see I who I am because of who we all are. So in the 4th-dimensional thinking, we come together, we put our heads together to solve any problem, we achieve any goal together, because we know that 2 minds are better than 1, 3 minds are better than 1, you know? And it takes healthy bodies to create brilliant minds. If you don't think sugar is bad for you, try to quit it for a week. See what happens. See what happens to your mind when you try to get off all processed foods. You will have insane withdrawals. They're crazy, but it'll be hard for you to believe, because most of us haven't been told that sugar is an addictive poison. It's a drug. It acts just like a drug in your brain. It's 8 times more addictive than cocaine. That's crazy, and it's in everything. So that's why I've been growing all my own food for the past year. I pretty much only eat plants and seeds and nuts. And yeah, I still eat meat, but I'm trying to get into the wild meat thing, because food is everything. Food isn't just fuel, it's medicine. It's always medicine. So I want to petition you guys to run for mayor or city council. I'm 32 years old, and the more healthy I get, the more this isn't a scary thing. It just needs to be done. We need new, fresh blood in our municipality that's willing to take a risk and not follow this narrative that we know is all weighing us down. Why do we keep listening to these people? Why do we keep doing this? And everybody's so scared of the survival thing, right? Because we intuitively know that Ubuntu is ingrained in our system. When we're born, we just know that this world provides, and it's a world of abundance and prosperity. And yet, as we get older, this concept of money gets beaten in our brain, which gives us scarcity-based thinking. And it's always a struggle to survive. And everybody wants to survive, but we want to thrive. But there's this money thing that gets everybody freaked out. And I feel bad for all the store clerks and all these just regular average Joes that have to wear masks, that know that they're going to get sick from wearing these masks, but they do it anyway because that's the only way they know how to pay their bills. They don't know how to stand up. They're not presented with solutions to everything. The One Small Town Plan of Action provides you with the solution to every problem we face. It will solve everything. And that's a pretty bold statement, but look into it. It's true. And if you have any questions, please message me. Come to me, because I've been struggling with this for a long time. How's this going to work? How's that going to work? And you realize that it all comes within the people and the technology that's hidden from us. Mind you, this clean energy that we get to see when we implement the One Small Town Plan of Action in our town, we get to use it for our vehicles. We won't have to buy gas anymore. That's going to be a gradual transition, but eventually we'll have cool technology in our town, because science and engineers and shamans and all these healers will want to come to our town because they see the prosperity, they see the success and happiness and abundance that we're creating in our community. And they know that they won't be silenced and ridiculed for their discoveries, their inventions, and their healing techniques. So I'm just putting it out there. I want everybody out there to think about becoming healthy and living the fullest life. Do what is true to you. That's really what you have to ask yourself. When you watch a TV, which I wouldn't recommend that, turn that thing off. It's just poison for your mind. And, right, is this true to me? All this fear-based thinking, all this propaganda, the news has never had newsworthy events on it ever since I've been a kid. But yet the older generation thinks you got to stay informed, you got to stay updated on what? Political propaganda and who's screwing who, and right? The hatred of this country's going to get us. I think you'll find if you watch a lot of interviews with ex-veterans and stuff like that who have come out, they will tell you that the common people do not want to fight. But it's always the politicians who can get the people to do their bidding for them and fight for them. All you have to do is tell them they're being attacked and then denounce the peacekeepers for lack of patriotism and putting their country in danger. That's exactly what's happening now with these masks, these bullshit mandates. I heard somebody at a rally a couple weeks ago say, "We're free Canadians." And I didn't say anything then, but I was thinking, we are not free. We are far from free. Just because we might have it a little better in our country than other countries does not mean we have a shred of freedom. And when you go back in history, this has happened so many times for thousands of years. But this is why this is a very important time to be alive. It's because we're raising in consciousness and we have the power to change everything. We're realizing our true power, But you start to do the inner work. You do the healing on yourself. You change the assumption. and other people will change based on your assumption, because you create this reality. What is what are the things that are going off in your head all the day, all the long day, that you can't seem to get out of? You have the power to change the meaning behind that to something more empowering, and you'll find that your ego your monkey mind that likes to grab onto these things all day and night and worry and worry and worry will start to dissolve away, because you change the meaning behind it. We all have the power to do that. We're all individual expressions of the same mind, the superconscious, the God mind, if you want to call it that. But that just goes to show we're all connected. And yeah, so I just want to get you guys thinking about running for mayor or city council next year, I'm pretty sure. And I'm going to keep doing my Ubuntu thing. And I've been getting a lot of emails from people who really are interested in this, and they want to start contributing. They want it started happening now. And that's great. I love to see that. But, it's going to take the community, right? I can't just be the leader. I'm not looking to be a politician or a leader of any kind. So, I've just been following this movement for over a decade. And now I see how it can solve every single problem we face on this planet. But it has to start with small towns, So being in government is really nothing to be scared of. A way to trust the government is to become the government. But a train a coming. To get off here. But yeah, I guess I'll just sign off now, because I've just been I wake up every morning thinking about making these videos too, but I'm always like, nah, what are people gonna think of me? But I don't care anymore, because I just love myself more and more every day. Clarity of mind is everything. So get healthy, run for mayor or city council of your town, and be the best person you can be. Have a great day.